Hey Tshiamo, thanks for the question you sent through on the data handling. That's a very good question because this stuff is as difficult as stats in grade 9 can get. So these are good questions. I've drawn the question up here, the histogram up on the board. And before we even look at any questions, the most important thing that you have to do is you have to just look at the histogram and make sure that you understand exactly what it's saying. Don't even look at question 1 until you totally understand the histogram. Okay, and it doesn't take long. So the bottom here are the number of SMSs. This here then must be number of students. Okay, so I can see here that 3 students send between 1 and 5 SMSs per week. 2 students send between 6 and 10 SMSs. 8 students send there. 11 students send between 16 and 20. And 2, 2, 2. Okay, and if you add this all up here, 3, 2, 8, 11, 2, 2, 2, you should get your 30. Okay, so now I totally understand this histogram. So now I can start going through the questions easily. Okay, state the modal interval and estimate the modal value. Okay, mode is the number that occurs the most. In this example, it will be the number of SMSs per week that occurs the most. And it's definitely this high bar here. It's the 16 to 20 interval. That's the most common number of SMSs sent per week. Alright, so the modal interval, this is A by the way, the modal interval will be the 16 to 20. And if they ask you to estimate the actual value of the mode, that modal value, so in other words, what was the most common number of SMSs sent per week? We just go directly in the middle of the interval, which is 18. Okay, so there's the answer for A. B, the median interval, okay, and hence an estimate of the median. Alright, so guys, if there's 30 students in this class, I'm interested in the number of SMSs sent by that 15th person. Okay, as long as it's arranged in numerical order, which it always is in the histogram, the 15th person will be your median, okay, out of 30 people. So all I need to do is find in which interval does the 15th person fall. So there's the first 3 people, the lowest 3 SMSs per week. The next 2 makes 5. The next 8 takes me to 13 people. So I'm sure you can see the 15th person is going to fall inside that interval. Alright, so that makes the 16 to 20 interval also the median interval. It was the modal and it's also the median. And an estimate of the median would therefore also be 18. Okay, grade 9s or Tshiamo, finding the mean is something completely different. To find the mean number of SMSs sent, we have to add up all the SMSs sent by all 30 people. Okay? And we have to divide it by the number of people, which is 30. So to find the mean from a histogram, this is how it goes. Okay. How many SMSs were sent in total? Altogether? Well, these 3 people here, they each sent between 1 and 5 SMSs. Now, I don't know exactly how many each of them sent. All I know it's between 1 and 5. So I'm going to assume, and this is how it works in histograms, I'm going to assume that all three of these people sent the middle of the interval, which is 3 SMSs each. So these three, they all sent 3 SMSs. So if you go 3 times 3 equals 9, 9 SMSs were sent by those 3 people. Okay? These 2 people, I'm going to assume that they sent 8 SMSs each, halfway between 6 and 10. So if these 2 people each sent 8 SMSs, 2 times 8, that makes 16 SMSs. These 8 people all sent 13. So 8 times 13 is equal to Alright, so if we add all of these up, what are you going to get? The total number of SMSs sent by all 30 students. Alright, do it quickly. Alright, I get 495. 495 SMSs sent by them all, divided by the number of students, which is 30, and you end up with an average, a mean, sorry, because remember, mean, median, and mode are all averages. They're all different kinds of averages. But your mean would be 16,5 SMSs per week. Okay. Alright, now number C, estimate the lower quartile, upper quartile, and interquartile range. Okay, no problem. If you know how to find median, you can find these ones. Okay, so to make it very clear for you, let's imagine that here are all 30 students. Okay, these are the number of SMSs sent in order by the 30 students. The median would be the number of SMSs in the middle there, okay, which we've already found. Your lower quartile is the number of SMSs here, halfway between start and middle, and your upper, that's your lower quartile, and your upper quartile is there, halfway between middle and end. Okay, so what position do these two lie in? Where are they? Okay, and to find that, we use that formula. Alright, so a quarter, n plus 1. That's a formula that you've been given that enables you to find the position of the lower quartile. Position, not the actual value of the lower quartile, just where it is, just its position. Okay, so a quarter, n is the number of students, so it's 30 plus 1. So it's a quarter of 31. On your calculator, what do you get? 7,75. Okay, so now we know where to find the lower quartile. It's in between the 7th and the 8th person. Here's your first 3 people, your next 2, that takes us to 5 people. Don't you agree that your 7th and 8th person will both be inside that interval? Agreed? Alright, so we know that the lower quartile is then between 11 and 15 SMSs. It's 13 SMSs. That is your lower quartile. Now there's another formula to find the position of the upper quartile, and it's the same as this one. Instead of 1 quarter, it's got 3 quarters, and you do the same thing. But I just want you to understand, if the lower quartile was in between the 7th and the 8th position from the left hand side, then your upper quartile will be in between the 7th and the 8th position on the right hand side, from the other side. So you don't have to go and redo this formula and do all that stuff. Okay, so let's find the 7th and 8th person from the other side. Here's my first 2. Here's my next 2 and my next 2. That's 6 people. True? In this interval, big interval with lots of people in it, my 7th and my 8th person are definitely in there. Okay, so that means this is the interval for my upper quartile. And they're asking me here just to estimate the upper quartile, so I'm going to go in between there. So my upper quartile is 18. Upper quartile, 18 SMSs. And if I know those two, well then I know my interquartile range. Upper quartile minus lower quartile. So the IQR, I'm going to do it here in red. IQR must be equal to 18 minus 13, which is 5. And that is the question complete.